Does tampering, or the act of pressing down soil, provide any benefits to growing microgreens? Stay tuned to find out. We've heard a lot of microgreen growers talk about the benefits of tampering your soil before you seed it. Now, this is something that we've never really played around with until today for this video. If you're not familiar with what tampering is the act of taking something like a wooden plank or even your tray and just pressing it down just enough to compact the soil before you seed it. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you guys our first trial with our tampered versus non-tampered. So let's go ahead and jump into a little bit of story time. 9 days ago, I took 4 sprouting trays and I put 3 cups of Burpee's organic soil per tray. I then divided these into 2 groups with 2 red labeled trays and 2 blue labeled trays. Within each group, there was 1 tray labeled 1 and 1 tray labeled 2. Our trays labeled 1 were our tampered trays, or the trays that we firmly pressed down the soil. And then our trays labeled 2 were our non-tampered trays. These were the trays that we did not compact the soil on. Our blue labeled trays were our cauliflower, which I seeded those at 15 grams per tray. Our red labeled trays were our China rose radish, and I seeded those at 20 grams per tray. After everything was seeded, I watered each one of the trays, and then I only put an empty tray on top for the next 4 days. Day 3, tampered versus non-tampered. After 4 days of germination, whenever I moved my crops into the light, what I saw was that the non-tampered trays were actually a little bit ahead in germination compared to our tampered tray. Now that was pretty shocking to me. Today is day 5 of our tampered versus non-tampered trial, and these are all beginning to fall over, so that means it's time to take these trays off and see where we're at. Before we do that, if you wouldn't mind smashing that thumbs up button and also hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell so that way you get notified anytime we release new videos like this. So let's go ahead and take a look at what these look like today. So the 2 trays that are labeled 1 are our tampered trays, and the 2 trays that are labeled 2 are our non-tampered trays. So let's go ahead and look at our radish side. I'd say they're actually both pretty comparable right now, but it does appear that my non-tampered tray has more consistent growth on it than the one that is tampered. Here, I'll lean that in a little bit close so you can see. Like, you can see there's a little bit of patchiness right here and right over here compared to our other tray where we just don't see that. So it is very interesting to notice. And let's take a look at our other 2 trays. So on these ones, they're actually almost the exact same. I'm not really seeing too much of a difference. On our tampered tray, there is a little section here that is a little low, but it looks like everything else is pretty even. And then on our non-tampered tray, same thing. There's a little section over here that is pretty low, but the rest of it is even and consistent with our tampered tray. So far looking at these, I'm not really seeing too much happening. Maybe we're gonna see more over the next few days. So what I need to do now is bottom water each one of these and introduce them straight into the light. So I'll see you guys here in a couple days for another update. 3 days after going into the light, our radish were ready for harvest. So let's go back in time a little bit and see what that harvest was like. All right guys, today is day 7 of our tampered versus non-tampered. And oh my gosh, are these radish looking really good right now. Today's actually gonna be harvest day for the radish because they are at the perfect height. But I am going to give our cauliflower at least 2 to 3 more days to grow since they do need to get a little bit taller. So let's go ahead and pull our radish off the shelf and jump into harvesting. So if you remember, tray number 1 was actually my tampered tray. So we're gonna start with that one and then we will dive into our non-tampered. Look at that pink to white in that. So pretty. So far at first glance at this one, I think it looks really good. It doesn't look like we have a lot of undergrowth, which is really nice to see. So it means that our seeding density was really nice. All right, so for our tampered tray, we got 195 grams, which I'm gonna go ahead and write down real quick. And whenever I take a look at the appearance, I think that these look really beautiful. The crop overall just looks really healthy and happy. The coloration is really good. And I think we harvest this at the perfect time. And now it's time for our tray number 2, which this was the tray that was not tampered at all. And actually during germination, something that I noticed with the non-tampered trays was they were ahead of our tampered trays in germination. So I'm really interested to see how this tray actually turned out and if it got a higher harvest weight than our tamper tray. This looks like a really happy and full tray. The cotyledons are perfect right now. And just like our first tray, I think we picked the correct day to harvest this on. I'm not noticing really any of that undergrowth, which is really good. And once again, the coloration on this is just beautiful. China Rose has such a lovely pink color, and I think it's just a really nice crop to look at. Makes you happy. I just got done harvesting our non-tampered tray, and we got a harvest weight of 225 grams. Now that was 30 grams higher than the tray that we actually tampered the soil first. So it's very impressive to see that the non-tampered tray actually did a lot better on this. I'm really excited to see you guys here in a few days whenever it's time to harvest our cauliflower and see if we had the same thing happen there with the non-tampered getting a higher weight or not. So I'll see you guys here in a few days when we will dive into our second set of trays. Today is day 9 for our cauliflower, and today is going to be harvest day because I am loving the height on both these right now. This tray here is our tray number 1. So this is our tampered tray. This is the one that we pressed down the soil a little bit before we seeded it. Then the tray next to it is our non-tampered tray. So this one we didn't do anything to it. Taking a look at each one of these trays, I am loving the cotyledon size. I think it looks really lovely. We are just now seeing slight signs of true leaf, and like I said before, the height on these is perfect, so I don't want to wait any further to get into harvesting these. So let's go ahead and jump into that right now. I think we decided to harvest this literally like the perfect time. The height on this is exactly what I want, plus the cotyledons are nice and big. For our non-tampered tray, we got a harvest weight of 136 grams. Now it's time for our tampered trays. Let's find out if this had any benefit for our cauliflower. Once again, we got really great height on this. Looks like a perfect product. I just finished harvesting our tampered tray and I got 136 grams. That is the exact same amount that I just got on my non-tampered tray. Let's go ahead and quickly recap our results. When it came to our radish, we noticed a 30-gram benefit in favor of our non-tampered trays. But whenever it came to our cauliflower trays, there was no difference whatsoever between our harvest weights. In fact, they were the exact same. At this point, I really haven't seen any benefit of At this point, I've really seen no benefit of taking the extra step of pressing down the soil before growing my microgreen. At this point, I've really seen no benefit in taking the extra step of pressing down my soil before seeding. Now, this was a small test set, and we'll be redoing this on a much larger scale on our next try. I'm curious to see what your guys' thoughts are about this. Do you guys see a benefit from tampering your soil before you seed it? Please let us know in the comment section down below. Well, you guys, that's it for this video. That was a very interesting test, and I'm really excited to continue to do more like it and see what kind of results we get in the near future. So if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you dislike it, give it a thumbs down. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the section below. We have an Instagram and a Facebook that are both at On The Grow Farms, and we have a website that is www.onthegrow.net. Be sure to share, comment, like, and subscribe to our channel so that way you can see more videos just like this one. Thank you guys so much, and keep on believing.